noticed increased engagement from my students, and I was really surprised because I got a lot of feedback in my course evaluations about the feedback and the specific feedback that I had given students. So I was surprised and encouraged by that.
Well, whether it is through students reaching out to me directly to say thank you for the feedback, or if it's students posting in the collaborative discussion board to say, oh yeah, she said this to me and she did this. So it's one of those things where I understand substantive feedback is extremely important to push students to where they need to be when it comes to being successful.
And students do appreciate timely feedback because there's a lot of evidence that states that if you provide feedback in a shorter time frame, the learning is more effective and the outcomes for student success are more powerful. Keeping that in mind, we try our best to give students feedback in a timely manner as possible, and the rubrics with substantive interaction on a periodic basis, which is routine, makes students want to look forward to the feedback, which improves their performance because they're looking forward to learning and improving based on your feedback.
I also create interactive discussions, interactive video discussions, and the feedback I've gotten from students about them is great because I made them myself and they like the human interaction with me, and they also think sometimes it's easier to understand when I explain it compared to the publisher content explanation. So I've gotten great feedback from students about the interactive video discussions.
Often in my evaluations at the end of the semester, I do kind of a question and answer with what I call a first thoughts discussion board. And I stole this idea from Dr. Ben Graydon, where they have an assignment coming up and there's a discussion board where they have to say, like, here are my questions about this assignment, or here's how I'm planning to approach this assignment, or here's how this assignment is like something I've written before. So it's a simple discussion board post. But instead of answering 24 or 25 students' individual questions, I kind of read through them and then I go on and I do like a response to them all. And in my evaluations, students often say, oh, I really liked her first thoughts videos. And they're calling them that because I'm responding to their first thoughts. And it's efficient, first of all. And then also I can say, oh, you know, Oliver asked me this question. I can call them out by name sometimes, or I can say, all of you were struggling in asking this question. And they take me 5 minutes to do because I read them and kind of just jot down notes, and then I just like impromptu talk through them. I know sometimes we like to have a script for a video, but again, with these, I don't. And I have consistently gotten feedback that students like those.
I hear it in my student evaluations about how they've enjoyed the videos, how they have a face behind the name now. Now, that's not to say I know every student is not going to watch every single video, but for those students who are giving me feedback about it, it's helping me to understand that it is important to at least some of them, and something that I'm very comfortable doing and very comfortable continuing to do.
I do get some responses, even email, and sometimes it's very articulate because some actually give me new ideas of, you know, maybe that question should be formulated in a different way. So substantive activity, doing it this way, you know, we're sharing information with students. There's always 3 or 4 that are quite keen in identifying how I could improve, also the question too.
But I will tell you, I asked my students the other day in my hybrid class, how many of you are reading my class recap? So I do a recap after every single class period for my hybrid students, and they all raised their hands.
And then when you start to think about what's the point of substantive interaction, why is it important, you hear that feedback from the students about, you know, thank you for putting in a video, thank you for letting us see a face with the name. They appreciate specific feedback.
I had some students send me some emails identifying the uniqueness of my course because it's not like the others, and that I'm literally present there.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially at the end of the semester, I will say something, a little something about each and every student. And that's one of the things that I try to develop a relationship with them so that I can say something of substance about them at the end of the semester, sort of thanking them for their commitment to the course. And you know, oftentimes if I do get an email from a student or two or three, they will thank me for doing that. And sometimes if I know a student is from a different country and I know a few words in the language, I'll usually try to use those phrases, and they'll appreciate that too. Thank you. Your Portuguese sounds pretty good. Your Brazilian Portuguese sounds pretty good. So
students have come to me later and told me that they really appreciated how much time I've taken, that they had a really great experience with the class, and their overall satisfaction with the class is heightened because of that. And I even get students that will come to me and say, hey, I took this class because my friend had a really great experience with you as their instructor. Just looking at online classes as a collaborative effort between the instructors and the students can make it a much better experience overall. I know when I went to college and I was in regular classes, it was a lonely experience, and a lot of times I didn't get to know my professors. And I imagine that's a lot worse now that you're in an online environment, and a lot of times you don't even get to see your instructor. So I think it's really important that we take the time to get to know these students as best we can, even if we don't meet them in person.
But a really great thing that I had happen to me, and I try and carry this with me, when I'm feeling frustrated, like I'm so tired of responding to these posts and I'm so tired of grading each one of these individually, is I ran into a student outside of school in a social situation, and she said, you were my instructor for 3 courses. She said, I felt like you really enjoyed my discussions and I felt like they were important to the class. She said, I think you need to know that because I read every single word that you wrote for me, and every week I tried to improve so that I could meet your expectations without you asking me to meet your expectations. She said, I felt like you really liked my writing. And that's what we want for our students. That's why we do what we do, you know?